Conversation is bigger than mistakes. It's about rebuilding. Reentry is not just about leaving incarceration, it's about returning to society with hope, purpose, structure, and opportunity. Too many individuals come home ready for change but face barriers in employment, housing, transportation, education, and acceptance. The truth is this: successful reentry strengthens families, improves communities, reduces crime, creates productive citizens. Everybody deserves an opportunity to grow beyond their worst moment. This is Collective Conversations. Today's special guest, we have Miss Kiana Moore. How you doing, man?
I'm
How you
doing
doing?
good. How you guys
How's it
doing today?
going? Doing good.
So, starting off, you've been a guest here before, but we'll just begin by you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you got going on.
All right. My name is Kiana Moore. I'm the president and founder of Just a Bunch of Felons Incorporated. We are a community-driven organization, just trying to assist people that are coming home from prison and coming out of rehab, re-enter into society successfully. That's a little about what I do on the daily.
So I know you structured here because we've met a few times. So you structured it to have different things that milestones that they would reach, right,
Yeah.
to get out of your program, right? Tell me a little bit about the program part though, of what you just made with Just a Bunch of Felons, the program part.
Okay, so in the beginning, we'll do an intake form. We'll structure a success plan for them.
Okay.
Depending on, I know everybody's situation is different, so
Right.
I can't give you an exact structure,
Right,
but
right,
from the first part that we have is accountability. That's the first thing. We're going to take accountability today, and we're never going to talk about it again from here on to anyone. So from there, if you're in rehab, we make sure that you're going to all your meetings. We make sure that you're passing drug screens. From there, we're going to get you into some type of financial literacy or workplace readiness course, which I partnered with you guys
Right,
assisted
right.
with.
Right.
And I feel like that'll help them gain the knowledge that they need to be able to ace an interview, and then be able to be stable after that with the financial knowledge that they receive. And then once they keep their job for 6 months, they'll go up a step,
Okay.
and after a year, they're ready to graduate.
So they delve a little deep. How did you come up with that part though? I mean, because that is good to have definitely have a nonprofit, but to come up with that structure.
Just I had to work on myself first.
Right.
So I had to sit down. I had to take accountability. Like, hey, when don't blame it on your past.
Right.
A lot of people have a past and they became successful, Kiana.
Right.
From then, I never could keep a job. I was very unstable, bouncing around, just trying to find out who I was. So once I got that stability,
Right.
it showed me like, hey, I got, I got a little structure here. I could keep me a house. I could pay my car payment now.
Right.
I don't have to go back to the streets because I know I got a income coming in. And then the financial literacy part of it is being able to save my money. I want to be able to spend my money on my bills and still have some for me
Right.
at the end of the day.
Right.
And that's really what's kept me going and not having my back against the wall anymore. So basically just starting with me.
And that's weird when you say starting with me, because the thing is, like, when we do recovery or anything in life, when people, kind of make mistakes, if someone's teaching them that they feel they didn't go through it, then they're like, well, how would you know? You don't even know about
Right.
it. So then they won't, it's not that they really have to, but, it can be better, right? So there's no excuse, basically. There's no running. I did it. And then you don't come, and I know I've talked to you several times, so I know you don't come into, well, I did, you can do it. Not that, but you're there.
Right.
There is no excuse. Somewhere where I go, do a Bible study with and talk to the fellows at the fellowship home, same sort of thing. It's like, the one that runs it, he went through it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different for them to say, well, I can come in there and speak, but, he carries a lot of weight just because he's, actually been through it.
Right.
And a lot of that is just, like I said, for him, you talked last time you were on here about several people have went through things as well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But to be, like I said, I always say to be so young. That's why I say about collaborating, it's nothing to collaborate because it's one of those things. It's like, we need, to be together.
Yeah.
I mean, and do things, that's what working together, we work stronger together, and that's the truth. And like I said, we're going to start today. Actually, I mean, it's kind of neat that we have to have this show with this early. We haven't really had it this early before, but I mean, we're just doing it to get the wordness out. We'll have classes up here. Like I said, it'll be every Wednesday and Thursday of the month of every month. So, well, only difference is it will be here this month and next month, but actually we'll be moving. We'll be moving offices coming July, so it'll be different then. But we'll come up with all those things and tell you then. But I mean, we're super excited for it. Mike will teach today. I'll teach tomorrow. Just recently, he was sick, so just recently we had taught some kids of business etiquette this weekend. But it's been a while since I have taught. I used to teach like CPR, first aid, stuff like that as well. So it was kind of neat to get back in there and do it. I mean, of course, he finished it up the next day, but it's just keeping them involved. Yeah. But definitely, a different type of learning. So it's always a challenge to us to see what type, because you never know. Some people are visual, some people, can listen, but a lot of times activities, a lot of times is what, what gets them, especially in the financial lit part.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, one of them things too, we always try to do, like making sure it's in the room.
Yeah.
Kind of how you said, it's just like action, like whether it's through an activity, just learning where you don't realize you're doing it, or outright, okay, write this budget.
Yeah.
These are your finances, let's
Yes.
knock them out.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, more hands-on. I'm telling you, because I'm more of a hands-on learner myself. Like, people would sit there and talk for days, and I done went everywhere with my mind, and then back to they asking me a question I can't even answer it. So yeah, I'm a hands-on learner myself.
And a lot of it is like you said. So you said all the things you offer, right? But then when they're not offered, it's like, what I mean? Well, I thought she said, so it's a bigger weight that you carry than you probably even know that you do. I mean, you just said you were at parole yesterday.
Yes.
It's just the one but showing up now they know.
Yes.
I mean, how long you been there? How long you been going to parole?
Not long, probably for just a few months.
Good, but that's a lot. That's a while. I mean, just to be consistent. I bet you they know you.
Oh yeah, they do.
See,
they know me in the jail.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. It's like one of those things. It's like it comes with definitely because seeing a familiar face, but also seeing somebody that cares we think it doesn't mean anything. It means something to say hi to somebody sometimes in the morning. You never know what somebody might be going through. Just to speak to them, and to be kind to them. So that's one of the things that it speaks about. Real quick, reentry. It means beyond incarceration. That's a lot of times what we think is mental. It's emotional transition back into society. It's a lot of what we speak about. But the challenges that people face are like employment, housing, transportation, identification, documents, right? And then this one word, stigma. That's the word that we get. Stigma. And you can't run from the stigma in your name in the name of your nonprofit. But I think there's a story why you named it that.
Yeah.
You didn't go into it last time, but somebody else told me this.
Yeah.
Reason why. The reason because they were trying to steer you out of naming it just a bunch of felons.
Yeah, they were.
Do you mind telling us that?
Yeah. So the name actually came from an altercation that I had with someone, and she literally just said, like, "You'll never be named. You and your fiance ain't nothing but a bunch of felons." And I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm about to show you something with that.
That's it. That stigma though, like you said, that stigma is like, that's the thing. But even when you read the monologue, it improves, our communities. It reduces crime, all of these different things. Yeah. People just don't see it that being, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, sometimes like, people make mistakes and it's over. But we see people all the time making mistakes and it's not over. Yeah. But yet people locally that we know, it's not, what I mean? I don't get it. I really don't. What I mean? It's like we, we try to steer ourselves in the right direction. I mean, it's not, when we talk about, doing a partnership with you, it's not to pat ourselves on the back. We do it anyway. Yeah. We do this not every day, but we do it a lot, right? Yeah. So why not offer it to someone, whoever it may be? It may not be, I mean, it doesn't say you got to be a felon to come in here and take the class. It doesn't say that. Because reentry is a lot of different things that people have been transitioned from a job being hurt. Off of a job disabled and then coming back to a job and really understanding because it moves so quick. The job world moves so quick. What are they looking for, right?
And that's what I'm sorry.
No,
That's
go
what
ahead.
I try to explain to people is that that's our dialogue is to, to help with reentry from prison and, coming into society. But at the same time, we are broader than that. We're reentry, like you said, it could be from anything. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, we say just a bunch of felons, but everybody holds that same stigma.
Right.
A person that doesn't have a good job history, give somebody their resume, and the employer is looking at them like, what you been doing for the past?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
always going to be a stigma there, regardless of what it is. This is about reentry, and everyone that's felt that they can't reenter into society successfully due to the stigma and the backlash that we're getting from our community.
Right. And that's it. I mean, it's always that. I mean, so in these labels, it kind of carries them. I always talked about that one, especially with substance abuse, right? I mean, people use the word addict. They use it, but I don't use it, but they do, and that's fine. I mean, it's how you talk is how you talk, but sometimes it carries a weight on some people to where they feel that that's all what they'll always be, and that's not the case. That's the temporary moment in your life, right? But you're making it a permanent. That's not it. Like I said, those are things that they have to work out with themselves. But people really do feel isolated a lot of times with the reentry. They do. Because you go around and, like I said before, what are we going to? And I always think that. I always think, like with myself, like when somebody gets in trouble that I know, right? I'll be like, gosh, how they? And I'm thinking in my mind, how are they going to basically re-enter back when they come, when they come back or whatever, and this, the road, but having, places to go, like, you're like I said, your nonprofit is a great thing because then they can, kind of get back on their feet, but people are doing it, right? And I think how long you been doing it now? About 6-7 months?
Yeah, since October.
Right.
Yeah.
So this month is a whole lot different than October whenever you started, right?
Yes.
And so that's the thing. It's like now you're doing repetitive things. What I mean by that is just the fact now is you're getting used to a lot of different things now, which is a good thing. I think it's one of those things where once you get that, then you can, somebody know it's solidified. I got a place. I know it sounds crazy, but I've heard a lot of crazy stories about people contacting different people while they're in jail.
Yeah.
And it ain't good, but they contact them just to make sure that they're good when they get out. Think about that. So imagine having a drug dealer or whoever, and all the lady told me was she just make a call once a month. Didn't care if you answered just as long as the phone wasn't disconnected. That's all, just to keep going in the negative way. But what about in the positive way? If we know we have, just a bunch of felons out here doing it, I got a place I can go at least to get, kind of link back in, with society in a way where, you got the cachet to say, oh yeah, and which I'm sure you've had some cases where it didn't go so well.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's more than just.
So tell me that. This is just so. Maybe I do come out. I'm gung ho about coming out. I'm ready, but then I'm not ready, basically. So I kind of fall off for a few months.
Yeah.
Can I come back?
Always. Because listen. The word second chance is broader than that to me because I this is probably like my 18th chance. You get what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, so yeah, you this as long as you got the mindset to come back, and this time don't come back the same as you were the last time.
Right, that's true.
Then you can always come back.
I think that's the thing. I know you mentioned a lot of different things. This is not what we do, of course, because we work on the work side and employment side. But a lot of it is mental, mental health. Or have you linked in anybody with mental health as far as like, link with some people that can give them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm with we are actually partnering with Generations.
Okay. Now I did hear that when I was over. I did hear that when I just started that. Which is great. I think it goes hand in hand. Yeah. Because like you said before, how can I get out of my own way? Yeah. Right? That's anybody. That's like you said, it ain't no difference if it's, incarceration, anything. How can you get out of your own way? And once you start to learn to do that, the better you can be. Yeah. And that's, good thing. So like you said, with Generations, I think it'd be a good thing. But that's what I said. You getting out there, getting your name out there now, people ready to partner because they know, because there's a part where, people are like, what is this? Because there's a lot of fly-by-night things. They do it now and then it's over with, whatever. But when they see you boots on the ground, you get going, parole, doing the things you need to do. That's what, definitely what it takes in order to do that. Because that's important. Community acceptance is important in a way of, definitely having bonds and having partnerships with things.
Especially from people that know who you are, like the local prosecutors and police officers that knew who you was. They knew you for what you did, and then when you try to make that transition, it's just like,
And they can be skeptical. They can be skeptical until consistency.
Yeah,
when they see consistency, and then also people also, we talk about doing this. Then when you call, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
And when you talked about it on the screen, we did it. But then I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah.
But when you have that, that helps too. When you have the partnerships that can go, kind of vouch. I mean, for both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, that's the thing. We have to curb this, stigma of, thinking that, your life's over whenever you get in trouble. It's not. I mean, you see it on TV all the time. Let's get it right. And then that's okay. I mean, like I said before, I don't see that, that's not a bad thing in any way, but, definitely the support needs that. And that's why we talked about, some things that you were talking about as far as what we do. When we talk, we deal with, a lot of work things, a lot of work skills, employment skills, also, some education things as well too. And that's why when we talk about what we're doing today and starting today, it'll be about, definitely about employment, about second chances as well, because it is important. Workplace readiness is important for anyone. Like I said, before, we just worked with some kids that was really young, about 14 and up, right? Just starting to work with it at that age, kind of with teaching them handshakes and how to send a correct email. These are things that we have to do. I mean, it's out there. But, one of the things I think we're going to touch on today is first impressions. Let's get it right. I mean, that's a big thing when it comes to, we did the exercise on first impressions. It got a little, but they didn't know. I mean, sometimes you tell them, you tell them so many things to do in the exercise, but then it blossoms into other things. It was who speak to who first. I never told them that because the exercise doesn't say that. So they can figure out who going to converse first or whatever. But you get and then they start getting into critiquing each other. Well, they not dressed right, so like that. But I never told them to dress as a class. You know what I mean? But even having that, in their mind, work is what they were on some of their minds. That's why they were saying about how you appropriately dress, and we kind of discuss some of those things as well. But tell me why I wonder what one of the biggest factors is about reentry. What's the biggest factor? I mean, that you see sometimes with some certain, because you got to think the people that you work with, they've had jobs before, so that ain't always the problem. But now coming back in, it might be a little different now. You know what I mean? Because of the job. Because you got to think some of the jobs. I mean, this. Some of the jobs pay on the table. Let's get it right. Some jobs pay on the table. Still bring an environment that they probably should be around now. But it bring money. How can I say it? Bring them money every day, whatever. But you right in the lines there again.
Yeah, I've seen that a few different times, especially like kind of in construction work. You get people that are still messed up, and then you're trying to mix it in with the good that you're trying to do. But now they done convinced you to get messed up again. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly
so that was a good one. So you want to be in the correct environment whenever you step into stuff like that. That's why if I structure it that way too, when it comes to me putting them at jobs, certain places, like I already done scoped out what's going on. I done went in and talked to the manager. I'm looking around to make sure, that we ain't got 10 addicts back there, and I'm about to bring my person in that just got out of rehab. You get what I'm saying? So I do everything that I'm supposed to do to try to make them be successful from the beginning stages. Now, I can't be there every day to hold their hand.
No, I think you're right.